All right. Now let's talk about what John was asking. John says, Mehran, if you don't mind, can you talk about time? And why do people always say time? Time heals all wounds. Much respect, Mehran. There's a lot to say about to be said about time. What is time? Not chronological time that we all know. 24 hours in a day and 30 or 31 days in a month and all this stuff, years and so on. It's not about talking about time. You have an appointment with your doctor or appointment with your wherever, whatever. We're talking about time in the sense of life. How is time born? You know, time is thought. Time is created by thought. You know, we talked about it before when you have a certain memory of certain incident or happening or feeling that happened before now. Let's say last night you had a tummy ache because you ate something or something didn't agree with your tummy and you felt pain. That was before now. Let's say we don't know time. Not now. Obviously can't be future, so must have been the past, before now. So before now, it was dark, so let's say you understand dark and day, night, dark and light, night and day. So it was nighttime, it wasn't now. It is light now, so you know where you are. It's light, obviously, whatever you want to call it. At the time you were calling it, it's a day. But it was dark, you remember, you had a tummy ache. So you refer to that experience as whatever you call it. If you call this day, you call that night. I'm talking about maybe 1,000 years ago, or whenever you want to discuss this topic. Like when you didn't know, we don't know what time is, and we're trying to figure it out. So this is how we probably figured it out. That it was not daylight, it was dark, and I had a pain in my tummy, and it was uncomfortable. So I call that last night, let's say. So we say, then I had pain in my tummy. Now, which is not then, I don't have a pain in my tummy. I wonder if tonight, this dark, when it gets dark, when no longer now is, it's after now, will I have pain? So before now, and after now. Last night I had pain. Today I don't have pain. I wonder if I would have pain tonight. So you see, I created time by comparing what it was to what it is, what it will be. So now I created time. So I created that with my thought. Yeah? Thought of what it was before now, thought of what I feel now, thought of what it could be, I wonder, after now, last night, now, tonight, is by thought I created time. So when they say, now that's one part of your question as I understand it, so that's how we created time. But you also say why people say time will heal all wounds. Well, first of all, that obviously they know that when there's a cut on their hands, they've experienced it. It wasn't healed right away, it didn't go away right away, but after a while, after right away, many right aways passed, it went away. So they know through these many right aways passing time, an increment of moments not being now, that wound heals. So they have understood that by passing of something that to them is clear to be not now, an accumulation of bunch of nows put together, something changes, and that wound was healed. So they use that analogy and they apply it to passing of time could also heal whatever it's bothering you, which is reference to things change and not everything remains the same. Hence, this cut that I have here, or this feeling that I have that bothers me, whether it's a pimple here or whether it's something that is occupying my mind, will also eventually, it becomes familiar. I'm no longer afraid of it, and it loses its teeth, and I'm no longer bamboozled by it, and I realize that, okay, it's just a nonsense, and then I change that feeling of discomfort that I've created in my mind for it, or the pimple will go away. But another angle for it, that time heals all things, is because human being has a feature, a capacity to forget things. And that is a blessing that we have, because through this special feature, we get to heal. And we get to continue grappling with the challenges of the world, challenges of life, and not to be bothered by it and be always refreshed. This ability to forget things makes us to become resilient and capable to be vigorant and take care of the problems, because we don't remember the pain that once it caused us, because we recover from pain. Why? Because we recover, and also we forget that we had pain. Therefore, we are ready to do the same battle. You go to play soccer and you get kicked and beaten or whatever happens, and then you get really bashed up. You come out of the game maybe, but then a week later you're all healed up, ready to go again, because once you're healed, you don't remember how it felt that causes you to stay and not to play the game anymore. A woman who gives birth, it's the worst pain in the world pretty much. And I remember I had kidney stone, and they compare kidney stone to giving birth, which apparently giving birth is far even worse. But even in that pain, if you ask a woman after delivering her baby, with all the pain that she went through, and she's screaming and swearing and yelling at whatever while giving birth with that kind of a pain, maybe 2 weeks or a month or two later, she's ready to have another baby. She doesn't mind, because we have this ability to forget pain. Otherwise, if that was the case, we would have never advanced to anything and would not venture to do anything that we've been feeling pain about it, that we didn't want the pain, but it happened, like we got sick, or we got, I don't know, we fell, or broke something or damaged something, or such things as giving birth. A woman does not shy away from it just because it was in tremendous pain once. We have this ability of forgetting. So this ability to forget things and go on and venture out and be courageous and go after what we want to get, these features are the features that we forget things. So time heals all means we'll get over it by time passing, and we forget it. We have this ability of dealing with it and resolving it and forgetting about it, and then refreshed and ready to go at it again. So many sporting activities that you work so hard and you're in pain, but you go even from the last rep in a set of a weight training that you can't really do it, but you do it. And then all that soreness, okay, it's a good soreness, it's not a bad pain, but it's still, you feel that it got you stronger because you went through that exercise. So sometimes you have this feeling of I'll be stronger through this bad experience, and having the ability to forget makes me ready to try it differently and then prevail this time, whatever the challenge may be, or whatever atrocities that has happened in the world. People recover from it. Even their homes have been bombed or things happen, they move forward because they have this ability to forget. So this ability to forget, I think, is what they really are relying on, making that sentence mean something, that time heals means we have the ability to forget. And once you forget, because everything that you feel, even things to do with OCD, when you feel this is such an urgent thing that you go wash your hands, or you don't touch this, or be careful at this, or the regular OCD stuff that you have, even any mental OCD, things that intrusive thoughts. But once time passes, you give a little time about not doing the compulsion of the obsession of washing hands or checking the door or watching the stove or whatever it may be. When that thought of having to do the compulsion passes and you get busy with other things and distracted, and you happen to forget that you felt that you had to do the compulsion, you will not think that there was anything wrong because you forgot about that obsession that needed to be followed up by the compulsion. Now that you forgot about doing it, time has passed, and you've done other things, it's no longer a problem in your head. You don't feel like I have to wash it. Oh, it's gone. Obviously, nothing happened. But at that moment, you think, oh, if I don't wash it, something bad might happen. But because that's a thought process. Once you get over that thought process and you don't do the compulsion, wait it out, and time passes, the urgency of it also passes. And you also forget about that you had to do it, or you felt you had to do it. And all of that causes you to think, I don't have to do it anymore. Because once the urgency is gone, second, because I waited it out and I saw nothing happen. Second, I forgot about it. I'm distracted. I'm doing the other things. I must have not been something important anyhow. It just comes to my mind. It's OCD. And you kind of see that really OCD is not real. It's just a mental thing. Like any other intrusive thoughts. They're not real, have no actuality, have no power over you whatsoever. It's the fact that you keep that thinking entertained or engaged that keeps you thinking that this could have any actuality. But once you don't pay attention to the thinking and let the thinking dissipate by itself, then you're not under the influence of believing the thoughts or thinking that intrusive thought could have had ever any actuality, and things will simply be as normal as it would be for you. So it's the idea of time passing and you forgetting about what it is that you think is urgent and urgently needs your attention. It doesn't. It's the thought that makes you think it's urgent. Otherwise, there is nothing urgent because there's nothing actual in that intrusive thoughts or in that OCD washing hat or whatever else it is that you happen to be feeling sad about or upset about. Time heals all. Urgency passes. You forget. The thought is no longer there. You forgot about the thought. You forget about the thought. There is no emotion. There is no sense of any urgency or danger. Therefore, no problems. So pretty much, I think that's what it means.